Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure by the title you know what this video is going to be about. So, without further delay, I want to get right into it. I have been a victim of narcissistic or emotional abuse in a romantic relationship, and now that I'm out of it, I can see some patterns and the stages, very blurry line, but I can see the stages and some really overt characteristics of the narcissist person that I chose to avoid or ignore in the beginning. So hopefully from this video you will be able to, you know, firstly prevent getting into an abusive, whether it's emotional or physical abusive relationship, and two, if you're already in such a relationship, how can you come out of it, and what will your journey look like after you've ended things. Okay, so first, before even understanding what is narcissistic abuse, I want to talk a little bit about who a narcissist person is. Okay, and this I'm just going to read out from the internet, a very generalized definition. A narcissist is someone who has an inflated sense of self importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationship with others, and a lack of empathy for people around them. Okay, I am not diagnosing this person with narcissistic personality disorder or anything clinically. I'm just saying that these traits were present in the person who I was involved with a few weeks back. And another little background I want to give you is that I have seen a lot of people like this. You know, I have met a lot of people like this when I meet my friends, when I go on dates, when I meet people, uh, just randomly, or spend time with a man. So I have actually been noticing these narcissistic behaviors in a lot of people around me, men and women. Um, but especially from the men that I've dated, yes, I have seen this in a lot of men that I've dated also. But I've always been able to pick it, like pinpoint it and end things at a very early stage. Still, it hurts. It still hurts. But this one in particular, even though it was very brief, it lasted for about a month and a half, but the way it messed me up in my head, in my body, I think that's why I want to talk about it now. So I'll tell you my story from the time it started, what happened during the dating period, and what made things end, and how are things now that it has ended. Okay, so initially when I got in contact with this person was obsessed with talking to me. I remember we were first just texting. We were initially just texting and getting to know each other, and it was all small talk. And the person by himself insisted that we get on a call. We start talking on a call. And so we started talking on a call, on the call. And then that happened for um, a week, 10 days. And this is what I noticed about him and other narcissistic men that I've spoken to in the talking stage, is that they always try to make you feel very special, right? They will share the deepest, darkest parts of their lives and cover it with a very, like, sugarcoat it with a very nice statement called, "Oh, I've never said this out loud to anybody. You're the first person I'm sharing these things to. You're so special to me, because I've never opened up like this with anybody." So what it does is it makes you feel very special in their life. It makes you feel like you have access to parts of them that nobody else has access to, and you start feeling very nice, you start feeling very seen and heard and acknowledged, because that's what we all internally want, right? We want validation, we want to be the first priority, the top priority in other somebody's life, or we want to be the most special person in somebody's life, because we think if we become very special, they will start treating us like a prize, you know. They'll take care of us, they'll treat us nicely and all of that. So this is what I initially noticed, that they would do all these things to make me feel very, very special. A few other examples that I can think of is, I would, obviously, another thing I did was I used to tell my expectations, my standards, that, oh, I want a man who, you know, just like goes on and leads and initiates and asks me out on a date, not wait for me. Um, a man who buys me flowers, who opens doors for me, who has this or that, whatever, non negotiables in a relationship. And so this person actually made it look like he was that, you know. So he would bring me flowers every time. Oh yeah, so like after we were speaking on call, he asked me out on a date, which I said, okay, sure, let's go out on a date, um, so he got me like flowers the first few times we met. He would open doors for me, he would be a perfect gentleman, he would sit right in front of me at the table and like keep looking at me like this, and I thought, wow, he's really like seeing me for who I am. And again, like all these things make you feel really special, right? And another thing he did initially was splurged. He spent a lot of time, money, energy into me. So he would buy me like expensive gifts, he would send me chocolates to my address, he would tell that he wants to take me shopping and all of that. So it's also, now that I think about it, this is like a classic case of love bombing, right? So the first 2 weeks of just talking to this person, they elevate you so much, they make you feel like such a prize, and they sort of put you on this pedestal, and you start feeling special, you start feeling like, yes, I am finally on the pedestal in someone else's life, I'm being taken care of, I'm being taken around, I'm being given gifts, basically all the love languages, right? He would be available on text all the time, he would call me the whole day, he would send me pictures from his workplace. He would keep me entertained, and he would keep me occupied with a lot of love from his end. So whether it's words of affirmations, whether it's gift giving, whether it's quality time, because he would want to like meet often, like we would meet on Saturday and then he would immediately text me on Monday, hey, you want to meet for coffee? So there was efforts, there was initiation, there was actions, which is why I thought, okay, this is the real deal. He's not just saying things, but he's also putting work, he's putting efforts, and he's showing it in his actions that I am special to him somehow. And so what happens is, when the transition from the first phase to the second phase happens. So because you start seeing that this person is giving so much, see, again, what was the definition? Inflated sense of self-importance, right? And a deep need for excessive attention and admiration. So what starts happening is you start admiring them. Wow, this person is doing so much, this person is taking out time, he's spending money, he's whatever, like coming to meet me, he's booking cab rides for me to go meet him. So you start admiring them, you start giving them importance, and this is what a narcissist feeds on. This is what they actually want. The reason why they're love bombing you is not because you're special, it's because they want you to tell them that, oh, you're so great, nobody else has treated me like this, you're so great, you're the perfect man. And that's when I started noticing a few things about him that didn't sit quite well with me, but I still chose to like brush it aside, right? So I would notice that he would talk too boastfully of himself, right? And this is the person who would go out of his way to tell me that he's humble, when he was actually the exact opposite of that. So he wants people around him to think he's humble, but it's just an act. It's just an act. Because if you're really humble, I don't think you would need to tell people that you're humble. It's just something you are. But this person would fish that from other people. So he would say things like, oh, we give so much in charity, but we never tell anybody. Then why are you telling me? You know? Oh, I have a driver, but I never sit at the back, I always sit in the front seat. Okay, so you want me to tell you that you're so great? So see, this is what they do, right? This is what narcissists do, is that they will very subtly keep hinting things about themselves, right? Obviously they're doing all these things to love bomb you, but on the other hand also what they're doing is they are showcasing themselves as the perfect man, a man that they can be admired for, right? A few other things he would say is, oh, like, you know, he was a little spiritual, so he would talk, he would like do puja every day at his house. So he would say, oh, have you seen any man do puja every day? So in a way he was like fishing for compliments, uh, just for his sense of self-importance, just because he wanted to feel like, yes, I'm a good man, I'm an important person, and you know, I'm getting attention, I'm getting admiration. So it's all about them. Everything that they do, everything that they say, everything that they are is not about you, it's about them. Okay, so this is the first phase. The second phase is when after the high, you know, there is a dip. This dip is what I want to talk about. It's when the narcissist slowly takes off his masks, one by one. And there's not one mask, there's multiple layers of masks. So he has to take one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. So the second phase of dealing with the narcissist in a romantic relationship is, then they start to withdraw everything that they've given you. They've already put you on a pedestal, and you've already made up your mind that this is the perfect man. You've already made up your mind. So now in your head there is a belief that has ingrained that this is the perfect man, he cannot do anything wrong. But is that possible? No. Every human being can be wrong. Every human being makes mistakes. But because now we have also believed their inflated sense of self-importance, we have also admired them and given them so much attention and made them so high and praised in our minds that even if they do anything wrong, we'll be like, leave it, it's fine, you know. So this is what starts happening in the second phase of narcissistic abuse, where they slowly start showing their true colors. But you don't notice that immediately because you're also in a delusional bubble, right? So with me, what happened is, initially what happened is he stopped with the gifts, he stopped with the flowers, he stopped with the chocolates and all of that. And I thought, okay, chalo, he's busy, you know, he has already given all that, he'll probably give it later also. Second thing I started noticing is that he was not as available on text or call. Okay, so again I thought, okay, maybe he's busy, maybe I'm just too free, maybe he's a little busy at work, he'll call me. But obviously I noticed that for a few days, and then I called out this behavior, and I told him like, hey, you know what, I noticed that, you know, you're not texting me as much, we're not calling as much. So when I confronted him the first time, he said, no, Kavana. He gave me a little reassurance. He's like, no, Kavana, I was just a little busy. I had work, I had this, I don't check my phone and all that. So I was like, okay, fine. But it continued to happen for the next few days also, and it then bothered me. And another pattern about this person is, At one point, he only started calling me at night after like 11:30. So I told him, uh, I again confronted him that you don't text me the whole day, you're not in touch with me the whole day, you only call me at like past, you only call me past 11:30 every night, because it made me feel like, hey, I was here in your life, and now you're slowly showing me that maybe I don't matter. So it kind of shook me up a little bit, and I asked him, to which his reply was, oh, you should be glad that I am even calling you. And looking back, this is the one thing that pricks me. I'm like, how did I let him talk to me like that? Because nobody talks to me like that. But because again I had created such an ideal image of him, I thought, okay, chalo, it's fine. Yeah, maybe I'm only demanding too much. Maybe I'm only asking too much. So this is the thing with narcissistic people, right? They give you everything, then they slowly take that away, very slowly, very subtly. Like, I would not have imagined that all this was red flags, or all this was like a slow removal of his layers, right? But now I can see things clearly. But that's what I mean. They're very sly. This is called systematic desensitization, where immediately they will not show you their true colors. They will show you like very gradually, very slowly, right? So this is one thing that happened. And then a few more things like that, like when I would share things with him, he would be like, he would just brush it off. He would say, don't talk badly about other people. What will I think of them? And I'm like, I'm not talking badly about other people. I'm just venting out. But he would say like, oh, but not everything is about you, Kavana. Which is another line that keeps replaying in my head, because, dude, it's my life. Everything is about me. Everything has to be, for me, everything has to be about me. For me, everything cannot be about another person. I have worked for years to reclaim my energy, to reclaim my sense of, self care and prioritizing myself. So some random man coming into my life and telling everything is not about you, like, what the hell? Everything is about me. But again, I was not thinking. I was like, yeah, maybe he's right. Maybe everything is not about me, because now we're like two people interacting. So sometimes things are about him also. But then I started slowly realizing that actually things were never about me. Things were always about him. His past, his trauma, his deep dark secrets, the fact that I was listening to him, I was holding space for him, I was inflating his ego, I was feeding his need for attention and admiration. Everything was about him in the relationship, and nothing was about me. And the minute I started making things about me, he would again say, oh, everything is not about you. Even though this pricked me a lot more than the other two things that happened in the beginning, I still stayed quiet. I was still like, okay, maybe he's right. And this is what starts happening, right? You start doubting yourself, you start questioning your own sanity. Am I being too much? Am I just being like this because of my insecurities? Am I projecting my past relationships onto them? Just because my ex did this, am I treating him badly? You start having all these doubts. You start questioning yourself. And this is gaslighting, right? Someone else comes into your life and makes you question your own reality. But you forget that your reaction is actually because of their action. But they are not willing, they are not even acknowledging their action. They are not even acknowledging the fact that the first 2 weeks they love bombed you, and right after let your guard down, they're withdrawing. They are not acknowledging all these things. They are acting as if they are not doing anything. So your reaction feels like exclusive to what's happening, but it's not. Your reaction is valid because you're reacting to the behavior of the other person, but the other person is not acknowledging that. And because they're not acknowledging that, and even if you bring it up, they say, whatever, it's not about you, you're too sensitive, this is not something to fight about. So they're invalidating you, right? So you start questioning your own reality, you start questioning your own self, you start doubting yourself. And that's when they kind of, slowly and gradually chip you off of your own confidence, your own sense of self, your own uh, self esteem. Yes. Uh, so all of these things are happening, and these were signs of emotional abuse, right? Neglect, invalidating somebody's feeling, dismissing them. It's not cool to tell that, oh, you should be glad that I call you. That's inhuman. That's dehumanizing. And I think after a period of such incidents, there was a last straw for me. There was a time when I was confronting him about another thing, that basically he lied about something. He lied about a big thing, actually. And then I found out that he was lying. And he also claimed, it's funny to me now. It's funny to me now, but this is the person who also is a self-proclaimed honest person. So he'd always say, oh, I'm hungry, honest, and humble. My god, hungry, I don't know if he's hungry or not. I've never spent so much time with him, but definitely not humble and absolutely not honest, because I caught his lie red-handed. And then I confronted him about it. And obviously, like any emotionally abusive individual, he didn't take responsibility. He didn't take accountability. He did not apologize. Rather, he got defensive. He said some really rude things to me, made me feel like I was crazy for confronting him. And then, yeah, made the whole thing about how I am wrong for reacting the way I did. So, yeah, so when I confronted him, he said a really harsh thing to me, which kind of woke me up from that state of trance that I was in, where I thought that he's perfect, he can never do wrong. Even if we're having disagreements in this whatever dating phase, it's because of me, because I was self-doubting, my confidence was low, my self-esteem was low. So when he said those words, I don't want to tell you the exact words he told me, but I will give you a gist of it. What he implied was, I don't have to tell you anything. It's between me and the other person. Okay? To which I was like, hold on. This is what you think about me? Insignificant? So, the way he spoke to me, so he completely flipped, right? Instead of agreeing that he lied and he hid, he's like, okay, so what? So what? Yes, I'll do this. I'll do this 100 times. So he's actually talking as if he's done nothing wrong, which was a shock to me, honestly. It's like, yeah, I'll do this. I've done this once. I'll do this 100 times. Why should I tell you? Who are you? Who are you to know all these things? It's between me and someone else. Why should I tell you everything? Can you believe it? This is the same person who pursued me who chased me like a fucking dog in the beginning. And now he's telling all these things. Excuse my language. But yeah, that happened. And then that is when I completely came out of that state of trance. Like I said, I just snapped out of it. I was like, Kavana, you have more respect and dignity than being spoken to like this. Because see, it's not about what happened, it's about how they treat you. Because I go on with relationships with the strong belief that disagreements are natural, conflicts are natural. In fact, they're healthy to a certain degree because they give you a chance to grow, right? So I always get into the relationship with that reality, that truth, that things are not going to be perfect always. Things are going to be a little shaky. It's about how you navigate it. And I always believe that you must navigate it with respect. At no point is it okay for you to disrespect another person based on whatever reason, their appearance, their job, their family background, their financial status. No, you cannot go there. When you're having a disagreement, stick to the point and talk about what needs to be spoken about. Don't disrespect the other person, is something I strongly believe in. So when he spoke to me like that, I was like, nobody speaks to me like that. Nobody makes me feel insignificant, because I know I am not insignificant. And this is because of the years of work that I have done on myself. Whether it's therapy, whether it's Reiki healing, whether it's journaling, whether it's traveling, whether it is meditation, praying to God, fixing things at home with my parents, reading, Bhagavad Gita, whatever it is, I have worked on myself enough to know that I don't deserve to be talked to and treated like this. That's when things started clicking to me, and that's when I'm like, listen, I am done. I don't need your explanation. I don't need the truth. I don't need you. I am walking out. Okay? I'm walking away. And guess what his reaction was? The minute I spoke of ending things, he flipped again. He was like, again, he became very gentle, very loving, started talking to me, and started explaining things to me about why he did what he did, and why it's not important, and why it shouldn't affect our relationship. Basically, he started trying to manipulate me or convince me to stay, right? And that's when I realized that this is what's been happening. Because a couple of times during the phase also, I told him, oh, if you're emotionally unavailable, if you're not gonna text me the whole day, I'm out, because I need someone who's emotionally available. And every time I would even subtly imply that I don't need this, I don't need you, I'm gonna walk out, he would flip, right? He would say, oh, for you I'll be emotionally available, for you I'll do this, for you I'll do that. So when the last straw hit me and I decided to walk out, he tried to do that same thing. He tried to convince me to stay. But this time I had decided I was not going to stay. So yeah, I feel like this has been a very long video. So I'm just gonna stick to the first and second phase, which is the starting and the middle, and how it led me to end things. But I think I'm gonna talk about what happens after ending a relationship with a narcissistic person, after experiencing narcissistic abuse, after experiencing emotional abuse. You end it, but what is your journey like after you end it? Do you just move on? No, hell no. Because it's been about I would say 3 weeks. It's been about 3 weeks since, a little over 3 weeks since that happened, and I still think about it and get very angry. So it is definitely a journey, it's a process. So I will talk about that in my next video, in the second part. Don't worry, I'm not crying. No, hell no. But I just want you guys to keep a lookout for these signs, not just in a man, but even if you're dating a woman, any person, non-binary, fluid, because I think narcissistic tendencies are not limited to just men. Emotional abuse is not limited to just men, right? So keep an eye out for all these things, guys, and please choose self-respect, choose dignity over another person. Okay? No love should feel like you are keeping your dignity aside, you're keeping your self-respect aside. No, your dignity, your respect, your identity, your self-worth, keep that intact no matter where you are, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in a job, whether it's in your family, wherever you go. Okay? So yeah, with that, I will end this video for now, and I will upload the second part tomorrow. Okay, guys, bye bye. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.